It's Timeout with Trey Scott, episode 17. With me, I got Hall of Famer, Mr. Craig Dawson, Coach Craig Dawson, player Craig Dawson, Wake Forest Deacon, man of many titles.
Getting old, man.
Thanks for coming, man. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. For people that don't know, we had a podcast in January, and the audio just never made it through. And something I was highly mad at. We had a great talk. I got to meet Mr. Dawson, and we're going to do it again. So let me go ahead and throw the introduction down for our younger cats that don't know you. Shouldn't be many. But Mr. Dawson is the all-time leading scorer at Kinston High School, 2 times All-State selection, dropped 34 in the East-West game, second ever next to Pistol Pete. Went to Wake Forest, where in 2001-2002 season led the ACC with a 44 three-point percentage. Also in the 1,000-point club at Wake Forest, holds the Wake Forest record. Well, at one time held the Wake Forest records at 3 points in the season and 3 points in the game with 11. Don't know if them last two. Okay, cool.
Still do.
Man, I won't going to jump on this early, but 11 threes in a game? Let's go ahead and let's talk about that game. What were you feeling, dude?
So the first thing that comes to mind, we lost the game in double overtime at Clemson, but it was a heck of a game, man. It was unbelievable. Most people don't know it is the only game my senior year that I didn't start.
Wow.
It was kind of used as I didn't play well a couple games before that, and I knew it. And so right before the game, one of my assistant coaches came up to me and said, "Hey, coach is going to bring you off the bench tonight, and you know this is just a test." And I don't think I said 5 words all game, man. I was just in a different zone, and I was like, all right, that's fine. I was like, but when he puts me out there, I'm going to give him a reason to keep me.
So you definitely had the chip on your shoulder.
I was dialed in for sure that night.
Yeah, I love this. Man, that's a zone that you just can't explain, right?
No, and it was like I had a full body cramp as soon as the game ended. It was like one of those you just kind of put everything you had into it.
Double overtime?
Yeah, double overtime game, man. But it was a lot of fun, man. It was one of the really high competitive game. So I was glad to be a part of it. I just wish we could have came out with the win.
Yeah. And that's the part you don't forget.
No,
that
not at all.
With that sentence.
Yeah, not at all, man.
Like I said, I got ahead of myself. You're coming back in town this week because you're being inducted to the Lenoir County Hall of Fame. Well-deserved, and congratulations.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, man.
It's nice to meet you. It's nice to be in your presence. You really put in a lot of work, and I'm sure Kinston High, Lenoir County, Kinston all appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate them just as much. I wouldn't be here without a plethora of people, man. As I told you before we got on, I have 50 people coming to this ceremony, but you know, there are a lot of people in this town that invested their time, you know, their efforts, even praying for me, man, growing up and even now. So I definitely couldn't have done it without them.
Well, and let's go a little bit more on that. I did an interview with Jerry, and Jerry almost said the exact same words, and he name dropped a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure you're about to drop the same names.
Man.
You know, how was it growing up in Kinston? Who helped you? You know, who opened the gym for you? Who showed you the way? You know.
Yeah, so I made like a 10-minute video because we only get a certain amount of time at the ceremony on Saturday that I'll be posting this week, trying to hit everybody and thank them. But I'm pretty sure I still missed some, but. You know, the main thing is a lot of folks ask me how come we have so many good players come out of here, and I've never had a bad coach. Like, I've never had one. Like, you had, even from an early age, Jesse Miller was my coach at Salvation Army, and then I went to Fairfield and Thurman Pate, opening the gym and running it there, and then going down to Holloway from there with Copperhead and Skeet Davis, Melissa and Terry and all those folks, man. And, I mean, everybody just had a hand in – you know, kind of teaching us the fundamentals of the game, and then you just kind of felt like you got your wings and you can soar with it. And then getting to middle school and playing for Coley Little, man, I always say he's the Dean Smith of middle school basketball. A lot of discipline that he showed us there, and then having the opportunity to play for Coach Hill on JV, and then him getting the varsity job the next year, man, it was the best thing that could have happened for me.
How many years were you on JV now?
I played JV 1 year, man. I showed up at the varsity tryout, and Coach Jones told me I made the team. He said, you know, I don't really believe in playing underclassmen, even though Jerry started it, excuse me, as a freshman there. And I think he was kind of surprised. I was standing there with my dad, and I said, Coach, I really appreciate it, but I'd actually rather play JV. Like, I want to play.
Right.
I'm a gamer. I want to play in games, and I didn't take it as a sign of any disrespect at all.
Right.
And I had a phenomenal JV season, man. We were talking about it this morning. The only game I lost my freshman year was on my birthday. We were 19-1 on JV my freshman year, and then my junior season is when I broke the single season scoring record, game record at Kinston, and it was actually
46.
I actually did that my senior year.
Okay.
I had 44 on my 17th birthday
Nice.
in Northern Nash, and I had 28 in the fourth quarter.
Nice. So let's go back to your freshman year. How big were you?
I was 6'3".
6'3"?
I was 6'3", a little skinny old thing too, man. Like 165, 170 pounds.
Always been a shooter, or was you all? I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to just categorize as a shooter. I know you're a baller, but
no, I take that as a sign of respect, man, because not everybody can shoot a basketball.
That's right.
So
That's
right. I don't take any disrespect when people see that, say that. But like, my dad can really, really shoot, man.
Really?
You know, at one point, my dad led the whole nation in junior college at LCC in scoring at 35 points a game with no three-point line.
Ooh.
But I used to watch him play in this industrial league, man, and him and Donald Ingram and some of these other guys and the way they shot the ball, and I just wanted to be just like them. So I would go out during timeouts and halftime and try to emulate what they were doing out on the floor. But my dad is the reason that I'm able to shoot the basketball the way that I did, because I definitely got it from him, so I appreciate it.
Who were some of your teammates in high school that you really love playing with? I know it's all of them.
Yeah.
But what's some of the guys? You know, how that roster make up?
So my sophomore year, I was one of two sophomores. Greg Wade was on there as well, but there's a freshman that made varsity that year, Derek Beckton.
Okay.
He was our point guard, and we became best friends that year because we were two of the younger guys on the team. But it actually came about through work ethic. They opened up the weight room during the summer and said that we could go during these times, and he and I would show up at the same time almost every time, and we just kind of hit it off, man. Yeah. And to this day, that's my guy. But I had a lot of guys, man. Jamil Sutton, Michael Sean Hooker, Michael Joyner, those guys I played with even in middle school,
right.
Coming up through the ranks. So I actually talked to Michael last night. He called and to congratulate me on this and just said, man, it's all love. We've always been tight and all of that. So I'm always appreciative of those guys because I couldn't have done what I did without them.
And excuse my lack of knowledge, but I know you mentioned Little was your middle school coach.
Yes.
Was that Rochelle?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, he was phenomenal. I tell folks he's probably the one coach I had where he just sat in a chair probably 80% of the time. But everything he said, everything he asked of you, like there was no question it was going to work.
Right.
And he got up one day, we were shooting free throws, and we couldn't make the amount he wanted us to make. So he went out there and started shooting them underhanded and hit like 10 in a row. And we were all just kind of like, what in the world is going on here? But he was phenomenal, man. He was one of the best coaches I've ever had.
Good deal, man. So right now, I say station, but I mean right now you're coaching in Virginia at Woodbury, 11th year. That's right. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
11th year. How is it? Before we can talk about how it is, let's talk about the school. Let's talk about what type of community you're in, the competition. Let's let Kinston know what you're dealing with in that part of the woods.
I'm extremely blessed, man. We have a 1,200-acre campus. There's a 9-hole golf course out there. I am blessed to say the least. It costs $65,000 a year for these kids to go to school there. But you have kids from all walks of life, all different places. As I was saying, 34 states and 34 countries. It is a melting pot of people, and it's cool to see because we're built on our honor system. Like there's no lying, cheating, stealing, alcohol, drugs, or bullying. Those are automatic grounds of dismissal from school. So we're trying to take young boys and turn them into honorable young men, man, and I'm blessed to be a part of it, and I'm thankful they thought enough of me to hand the program over to me for now, and I've been blessed to kind of build it and try to take it and see where we can go. But as I told you, the competition is fierce, man. Armando Baycott was in my league. Carter Lang, who's at Vanderbilt right now, has been in our league as well. Actually, the guy who was the all-time leading scorer in Virginia before Matt McClung, Nick Sherrod. He ended up going to Richmond and played in our league as well. So it's some high-level basketball. I do tell them all the time, though, it's still nothing compares to the hoop state here.
Well, how would you describe yourself as a coach?
Demanding, man, because I knew what was asked of me, so to speak. But I do think I'm fair, man. I know what it means to have a coach that you can actually walk up and talk to, and not just everything be about basketball. So these kids know that they can talk to me about anything, man. I stay in touch with a lot of the guys. I counted last season, we had like 17 players come back to a game last year.
Nice.
Which was awesome, man. So
because most of the kids are not from there.
No, right? Man,
so
they're
them
from
coming
all
back
over.
is not like going 5 minutes
right.
on Friday night.
No,
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not. Even in the game here in Kinston, and we played in Raleigh as well. We had like 300 fans at a game at Broughton. We played just Woodbury fans, which is insane to even think about. But
about 3-4 hour drive.
Yeah,
right?
man. Yeah. So the support is real, and I'm just thankful to be a part of a place like that.
So, and that rolls into my next question. You were referring to how the team is so diverse and kids from all different areas. Is there a challenge when you go into coaching? Does everybody buy in immediately? Are different kids, need to be coached different ways? Are you strict on, I coach this way, or
No, that's one thing I've learned over the years, because I think this is year 21 overall, something like that. Not everybody's the same.
Yep.
And you can't just be stuck in one way. I used to have in my mind this way that I wanted my team to play, but your personnel may not fit that. And so I've become more, being able to adapt
team over me.
More. Yeah, because it's definitely not about me. I've had my time. I definitely don't want to jump out there and have to run for 32 minutes anymore. But I definitely try to do all I can to give them the tools to be successful, and it's up for them. It's up to them to get out there and take care of their business. But I'm just kind of the caretaker of it.
Good deal. How was the transition going from playing to coaching? Was it something you just slid right into easily?
It's crazy, man. I didn't even have a kind of thought process to do that. Injuries kind of got in the way of it, and I just kind of went on and helping coach a middle school team, and then afterwards the parents came to me and said, hey, would you coach our kids in AAU? I'm like, sure. And, man, I fell in love with it. Those kids would run through a wall for me, and then I did JV after that.
And where is this? Where were you at?
This is at Forsyth Country Day School just outside of Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Another fantastic place, man, that I was blessed to be a part of. And the families that were there really looked after me and gave me all the resources we needed to be successful, too. I tell people, man, one of my players is a NASCAR driver right now, Austin Dillon. He drives the old Dale Earnhardt #3 car for Richard Childress, who was his grandfather. But and that's my guy. He played for me every 6th grade all the way through high school and all of that. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, man. He's always checking in with me about my team and texting me. He had his own show on TV, Austin Dillon, Life in the Fast Lane, and I'm laughing. I'm like, man, I knew this kid when he was this big. But he watches NCAA tournament games, and I'll get a random text and be like, Coach, I just saw so-and-so ran what we did back in 6th grade, man. So it's pretty cool, man, to have those kind of relationships with the guys.
Man, it is. Coach, you don't know me, and we don't know each other as much, but I also coached 10 years at Green Central, and I did football, track, basketball, and that bond, and even just the playing, whether it's coaching or playing, that bond is limitless. Yeah. Like it goes on. It has no time on it. My best friend's from football. My other best friend is I coached him in football. When you develop that brotherhood, where you're meeting Derek in the weight room, that carries because you can trust that man.
Right.
When there's nothing compares you better to life that I think is sports.
I agree.
Accountability, what you put in, you're going to get out, and stuff happens.
Yeah.
You're going to have referee makes bad calls. You're going to have injuries.
You can't predict any of it.
You can't predict nothing.
Nothing.
You can't
Not
predict
at all.
nothing. And you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
And you got to go back the next day and put your shoes on, put your jersey on. You got to keep competing. But that brotherhood, that's something I preach on this show all the time. And I love it.
I was lucky, man. I spent a lot of time with Jerry, man, and we're only 5.5 years apart in age, so I would spend every summer from middle school on with him, no matter where he was, just like working out, playing pickup, but being around. And his time spent in Chapel Hill, the access that the North Carolina program even gave to our family. Like, I used to sit in Dean Smith's chair before games, just twirling around, not understanding everybody doesn't get to do this, and to see how he was with everyone, even myself. I would see him and he would meet a friend of mine or something and be like, "How is so and so doing?" and call him by name, and I'm like, man, how does he remember all of that? But just seeing that, you want to emulate that, because I see the affection those guys have for him, even I have for him, and I didn't even play for him.
Right.
And you just want the guys that you coach to feel the same way about you.
I don't know if you saw it, but Popovich in his Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes, I did.
He just was speaking on, that's one thing he took from Dean Smith was his relationship with people. And, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of stories there with that as well.
Absolutely.
Jerry, you said 5 years older. How much did he, how much of an impact did he have on your basketball career?
Again, man, a lot. He and my Uncle Tony as well.
Tony, did he go to Florida State?
Okay. Yeah, he's the second
Tony
fastest
Dawson, right?
person. Second fastest person in Florida State history to 1,000 points. And Mitchell Wiggins is the other one. He's number one, so not too bad for Kinston fellas there. But those guys, man, just embracing me and let me be along for the ride. No matter what the question was, getting me up at 6 o'clock to go running on the track with them and playing pickup with NBA players and things of that sort, man. You can't imagine that growing up. But to me, I just wanted to be there and be a part of it, and I'm so appreciative. Even now, man, I'll text Jerry or call him and say, "Hey, man, can you send me what you guys are doing with your player development or practices and things like that?" And boom, and there it is. And he and I talk a lot during the season, because I'll text him after the game and give him my thought in a heartbeat. And but we have a lot of conversation back and forth too, man, and about stuff. And so I'm appreciative that even though he's gotten to the point he still sees this path for himself to kind of help bring others along. So I definitely appreciate both of them.
I got an odd question for you. Did y'all ever talk about Jerry's coaching a tier, what he wears? Because he's clean.
That's our whole family, though, man. That's what people don't get.
I love it, dude. I love it.
When people see what I'm wearing on Saturday, they'll understand.
Yes,
sure.
sir. I'm checking in. Yes, sir.
But nah, I wouldn't expect anything less.
That's right.
Man. I've been with him at times. I was in college, and I was spending the summer with him in Chapel Hill, and he had a tailor come over to the house. He was going to get some suits, and he was like, "Go over there and pick out what you want, get fitted." And I'd forgotten all about it, man, and about a month and a half went by, and I got the stuff in the mail, and I was like, what is this? And man, it's nice stuff, too. So nice. I wouldn't expect anything less, man. He's definitely the best-dressed coach out there.
For sure. And I think somebody named him that. I'm not sure who or what.
Yeah, I don't know who's number 2, but they should have just erased the rest of the list. It's not even close.
Last year coming in, you got to bring your team back to Kinston.
Oh, man.
To bring in an event. I was there. Man, that was a great event. The house was packed.
Yes, it was, and it was hot.
It was. Let's just talk about that. How was it bringing those kids, your kids, in?
Yeah.
What type of talk did you have with them about you coming home?
Yeah. So I didn't want to put too much pressure on them, man. Coming in here, but I know for myself. That was one game on the schedule that was circled for me, and I tried to tell them what to expect before we got here. But being in front of 2,500 people, man, and
I wasn't even expecting that.
Yeah,
the regular
it's
game,
so early.
Yeah.
I would expect that for the last game.
Yeah.
But when we walked in, I was like, oh my gosh! And so they were like, "Coach, is it like this all the time?" I said, "You guys, you have no idea, man. I dreamed about playing in this gym growing up, and just to be sitting on the bench during Jerry's games, man, and watching, I was like, man, I can't wait for this." But it was incredible, man, the love, the support that was shown being back here. And for my kids to play as well as they did, man, I challenged them big time at halftime, because we had lost the night before to the best team in our league, and it was pretty embarrassing, to be quite honest, man. And we played a decent first half, but where we wanted to go, we just had to be better. And I challenged them at halftime, and they came out and responded. So I was very grateful, but more than anything for them, welcoming us and the support that was shown.
And what about walking the halls? You got to walk the halls of Kinston. You got to go in the back
dope,
locker room, man.
I sat in my same seat, too. They let us use the Kinston locker room. So I sat where I sat at in high school for all 4 years, man. And, walking through that tunnel right before the game, coming out as a coach, man, that was special. It was weird being back over there on that side as a coach, but it was pretty awesome, man.
Man, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool for sure. You got any relationship with Brandon Ingram? Is there any Kinston ties? I know he's a lot younger than you.
So his mom's actually my mom's cousin. My mom's dad was a Swenson, and that's Joanne's maiden name. So this family down the line there too, man. Super proud of everything he's done, not only on the court, but what he's doing for the community here as well, man. And his dad, like I told you, man, watching him just pull up from half court and shoot in the leagues growing up, man, it was incredible. So if everybody does not know, that's where he got it from. For sure, he got his game from his dad, but just everything that they're doing around here, man, just super proud of it.
You got another guy, another family member that has got a lot of game, Josh Dawson.
That's my dude right there.
How much of an impact did you have on his game?
I don't know how much impact I had on it. He's so he is so different than anybody in our family. The way he plays. Now, a lot of people don't know, I love to pass. That was one of my favorite things to do growing up. Penny Hardaway was my favorite player of all time, and Jason Kidd was not too far behind. But Josh is incredible as a leader.
Yes, sir. He is.
As, you want to play with him. And I always tell him, in my opinion, he's the greatest winner that's ever played in this program.
And that's a big statement.
He's got 3 out of 4 years you won a state championship. That's one thing I feel like I let the city down in. I didn't get one. But I'm super proud of him and what he's able to do. Yeah, you may not have scored 2,000 points or whatever, but the impact you had on this program, when people talk about your teams, you're at the top of it.
Man,
so I have a lot of respect for him.
You should see him coaching middle school basketball.
So he comes and works my camp every summer. That is my dude, man.
And this is not a shot at Josh. It's just the passion.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And he gets it honestly, too.
Yes.
My sister has it. We all have it. But I love him, man. He always loses his voice by the second day of camp because he's so into it, man. But I've been over backwards for that dude, man, and super proud of what he's done as well. And I know he's just getting started in this business.
Good deal, man. Last question, we'll wrap it up. How honored are you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? How much does it mean to you? I know it means a lot because of what we've just been talking about growing up here. But finishing off, what does this mean to you?
Everything, man. People just don't understand what sports means to this town. You think all the years we've been to the state championship, and how town just pretty much shut down. And everybody's there. It's 8,000, 10,000 people from Kinston at the game. And I don't think people understand it unless you grew up here or you have moved here and you figured it out as you've gone along, just how deep and rich the tradition of sports, and especially basketball, but how passionate people are about it here and what it means. So for me, to be a part of that, man, is life-altering, is special, and I don't take it for granted, for sure.
Good deal, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
I
man.
Appreciate you coming. It's great to meet you again.
Same here, brother.
Good luck. We're going to be following you. Good chance we're going to be back at the Brandon Ingram.
We're going to try to. Yeah, we're going to try to. If not, we'll definitely be back in the future for sure. But I'd love to do it again.
Good luck, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is Timeout with Trey Scott.